Shalom, everybody. Shalom, shalom. Good to be here with you all today. Yeah, it's a blessing to be here today with you all. And I've been getting some wonderful questions from brothers and sisters out there and about the divine name and people wanting to understand more truth and wanting to, it's really good that we ask questions, that people ask questions. And everything that I'm presenting here on my YouTube channel and on israelpromise.org about the divine name and really about the scriptures in general is really everyone, according to the scriptures, according to the book of John, 1 John, it says, "Beloved, believe not every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they are from Elohim," because there's many false teachings out there. There's a lot of things. So everyone should definitely be on guard for the truth. If you want the truth, that you shall know the truth and the truth will set you free. So the question today that was brought to me actually on our Israel of Promise Facebook page, and there was a nice little thread of discussion, and a gentleman asked me that if the name Hovah, the Hebrew word Hovah actually has to do with the Hebrew name, the divine name Yehovah, and because they do sound alike. And this is actually a really good question. People have asked this question so many times to me already. This is, and there's a lot that can be said on this. I want to try to keep it really simple. So it does say, so the Hebrew word that is written Hovah, like you'll look it up in the Strong's Concordance, it's number 1943 or 1943 in the Strong's Concordance, and you'll look it up and it will say destruction, and people will say, wow, and it says Hovah, and people are like, wow. So this goes long. This is a long time argument against the vocalization of Jehovah, and people have come with this reasoning a lot. And so now, with all the evidence pointing towards that, the actual proper scriptural way to say the Heavenly Father's name, based on the vowel points in the scriptures and based on the tradition that goes way back, based on the actual what we have that was never lost, that the name is pronounced Yehovah. And then so people are still coming with this reasoning, but what about this? And this word destruction. So today I want to talk a little bit about Hebrew root words, the roots of the word, and to realize that the Heavenly Father's name, which is YHVH, people do have different interpretations of how to say it. And what I'm going by is after months and months and months of study, and after years of study, but months and months and months of study into what is really available now for us. And we have Divine Name Revealed Study 1 and 2 on this YouTube channel now. It's also on israelofpromise.org and on iTunes, the Israel of Promise podcast. And you all are welcome to share it, to study it, to test it. And there's so many sources there based on the Aleppo Codex, based on many Masoretic texts. And we look at, other popular pronunciations and meditate on and show what is going on here and why there's so much. This is a very controversial subject for many people, but ultimately everyone agrees that YHVH is the YHVH is the name, and it's just how to pronounce it. And then of course there is a tradition not to pronounce it, but we see in the scriptures that one is to pronounce it. So this brother asked about this question of the word Hovah. Now, all right, so I wrote some things out here and really for you all. I hope that you can see it. And let's see here. Okay, so we're going to start on this corner. Okay, so now my English is actually worse than my Hebrew writing. So this is Hovah, and you can see it. Hey, Vav, hey. Okay, now these are the vowel points of the cholam and the kamat, and this makes Hovah. 1943 in the Strong's Concordance. Okay, now what they say there is, one of the definitions is destruction, but what it also says is another form of the word Hava, written out Hava. Now, what does this mean? This is 1942 Strong's Concordance. It says desire, ruin, or calamity. So it's the same thing. However, the primitive root, all the Hebrew words coming from a root word is Hava, Hey, Vav, Hey. And look, they all look the same, but look, there's a difference. And I didn't actually write the vowel points in there. but they say that the origins of these words come from the word to breathe, to be, to have, and then it, I guess that's where the desire comes in. There's they're taking this language, but ultimately, so the root, according to Strong's Concordance, the root is 1933. That is the root of Hovah, and this is the root of this word Hovah, which is destruction. Now, when we get to the divine name, it comes from a completely different root word, and it comes from Hey Yud Hey, and this is Haya. Now, Haya means to exist, meaning to be or become. So this is the root, this is the verb that the divine name comes from. And you see this used in the Hebrew language many times in scriptures when you're reading in the Hebrew language. So Haya, it means to be. And so what we have here is two root words, Hey Vav Hey, which some are saying can be translated destruction. It can be pronounced Hava to mean destruction, or Hovah to be destruction. And then it also could be argued that it means she is. It's a feminine form of is. But Haya means to be or become. So Haya, from the word Haya, we get the word Yihye, which means shall be. We get the word Ehye, which means I will be. Sorry, Ehye, Aleph Hey Yod Hey. So here we have Yod Hey, which is Yihye, which means shall be. Ehye, which means I will be, and this is which is translated I am. When the Most High said to Moshe, he said, Ehye Asher Ehye. This is Aleph Hey Yod Hey, and the Aleph here. So notice what changed. The Aleph is showing the I, the meaning I will be. The Almighty was speaking of himself, and he said, I will be with you. I will, this is what it's talking about. And then another form of this is the verb that we get the noun Yod He Vav He, which we pronounce Yehovah. And Yehovah means is actually a combination of three forms of the Haya verb, which is Haya, Hoveh, Yihye, which means he who is, he who was, he who is, and he who shall be. Okay, he who was, he who existed, he who is, and he who shall be. So Haya, Hoveh, Yihye. So what you see here is that it's actually you have two different root words. And though they are so similar, and I totally understand why this is confusing for people, and though they sound alike, so the Hovah can be said to mean destruction. Yehovah means the eternal one, the one that always existed. He existed in the past, he exists now, and he will exist in the future. That's what Yehovah means. He is the eternal. He is the almighty, eternal one who has always existed for all time. So hopefully this clears it up. But just to say, Hovah is not related to the Yod He Vav He in that sense. Though they are two different words, literally, and you can see here, though they're so similar. So this has caused a lot of confusion for people. And people, they don't want to. I love the fact that people are so careful about the Father's name, and we should be. And so I present this message today to hopefully make it clear for everyone. And the questioning is good. And to seek for the truth is so important. And no one wants to disrespect the Father's name. In fact, the Messiah said, that we should pray that our Father in heaven, that your name be sanctified. Avinu Shabbat Yikadesh Shimcha. So that his name will be sanctified, that his name will be holy, that his name will be known throughout the earth, that his will be done on this earth, his kingdom. So this is what I'm working for, I'm praying for. And so the reason why I share the name and have always shared the name, even when I understood it slightly different, a different pronunciation, is to glorify our Heavenly Father, and that we do our best with all the information that we have. And then we seek first his kingdom and his will. And so many people make doctrines out of which is the correct Hebrew script, what is, they build whole theologies on pictograph Hebrew and in Paleo Hebrew script, and people come up with all kinds of definitions and all these things based on their own reading of an ancient language. But brothers and sisters, we need reality. And so here we have two different root words. And if you study biblical Hebrew, you'll know this. But I did want to say, I looked it up. If you look it up in the Strong's Concordance, Yehovah, YHVH, it's number 3068, and it says from 1961, this is 1961, Haya, to exist, to be, or become. It did not say from 1933, which is Hovah. So even the Strong's Concordance, which isn't always the best, even they recognize. And there's other ones that recognize it. The Brown Drivers Briggs Hebrew Lexicon recognizes this. It's not the same thing. And so sometimes things sound similar, but they mean something totally different in Hebrew. This is something that is very important principle in Hebrew that we need to understand. And when you add the yod here, it completely changes everything. So the yod gets added here. This becomes a vav, and it's a whole new name. But the Hebrew root of this, the verb that is the root of this noun is haya. So the Strong's Concordance knows this, and they say the definition is self-existent or eternal. And he is the Elohim of Israel. So I hope this makes it very clear. So because sometimes the vav and the yod, they do switch. And so, but needless to say, the Hovah, which is sometimes written Hovah, which you will find in your Strong's Concordance, that is actually destruction, has nothing to do with the Heavenly Father's name, which comes from a different verb, haya, which means to exist or existed, to be, to become. So this is the all potential. And notice that the same when we say Yah, any vocalization of the divine name, Yah is a short form, Yah. And people that also pronounce the Yod He Vav He differently, it doesn't change the root that it comes from. So, what we have here is the scribal tradition passed down from the Ben Asher family, which was passed down from ancient times. And if you want to understand why these vowel points actually are critical and are so important for understanding the name, listen to the Divine Name Revealed study. And also the Kingdom Road radio shows with Nehemiah Gordon, who's an awesome Hebrew scholar who's put his life work into this and making these things possible for us to understand. And you got to study it for yourself. And please ask questions. That I see we got some viewers on here. I'm going to go to you all real quick, see what you all have to say, if there's any questions. And just thanks for watching this. This has been such a blessing. And shalom, everybody. And we have, some great questions, everybody. We're actually just a bunch of shaloms, what I'm seeing. But hey, if you all have any questions pertaining to this subject, please ask it right now. And if you have questions on other subjects that I will make more videos on, I will make more videos on that you want to hear more on. And so please feel free to ask these questions, and shalom to everybody who is paying attention to this video. So, so brothers and sisters, I want to thank the brother that actually asked me to go into this. And so when you see this, my brother, you know who you are. And I hope for all the brothers and sisters out there that are pondering about Hovah, meaning destruction, and how that's related to the pronunciation of the Heavenly Father's name, which is Yod He Vav He. And so the root word is Haya, to exist. The Almighty exists, and He will always exist. He's the eternal, and we glorify His name. He is the Elohim of Abraham, of Isaac, and of Jacob. He has established His covenant with Israel. He gave His law and His testimony to Israel. He has not dealt so with any other nation, and it is to be a blessing to all people. The good news of the kingdom, that Israel is to be a light to the nations. He is restoring His people and is restoring all things. So shalom to everyone. And remember that the name Yehovah means Haya, Hoveh, Yihiyeh, He who was, He who is, and He who shall be. Shalom Aleichem.